Hey everybody, welcome to the Blender Podcast. It's brought to you by Phillips Brewery. I mean, what don't those guys do at Phillips? Amazing beer. I'm not even a beer guy. Boom. Phillips Gin. Boom. Phillips Tonic. They make so many awesome products that it's easy to tell you about. You should be going there. You can do growlers. You can go right to the brewery itself. That's if I'm buying products, that's exactly what I want. Also brought to you by the Zone Radio. Tune into the Zone. They're 24/7 playing all that rock stuff that you want. And they mix it up. They do a lot of different music. And the man himself, the legend John Williams, is also going to host Blender at the Mac, which is what you're listening to this podcast for. This is a podcast designed to give you a little behind the scenes, little insight with the 4 bands that are going to be at the McPherson Theatre. The other sponsor of the show is the Royal McPherson Onstage. Come check out our website. You can subscribe to our National Geographic series that we offer now. It's actually one of the cooler new series in town. We've got this beautiful new screen at the Royal Theatre. They're bringing in high-level photographers and speakers from around the world to talk about. They're really cool presentations, so check that out. Here we go. The first band of the night is going to be the Leg Up program, and then we're going to have Malahat, Lorah The Band, and Sex Weather, so enjoy. All right, I'm here with the Leg Up program. The whole band.
Hi!
How's it going?
Oh, wait, just
All
two
two
of
of
them.
us.
All two. How many people are in the band?
17 at this
I think
point?
we're at 17 right now,
17?
yeah.
What's the most it's been? 17?
It probably pushed 20 at one point with
Holy cow.
some missing members.
Yeah.
I have a
kind of
feeling
thing.
like for a live show, 17, maybe 16 is what we've performed with.
Yeah.
But we've had more in the group at any given time. It's just hard to arrange like a show when you have that many people. Like, who's available for this day?
It is.
Yeah.
I know I at a smaller stage one time, they were like, I don't know. I just don't know if we could fit them all. And I think we had you at Lucky Bar one time, and people were on the stairs. And I was like, wow, this is something else.
Yeah,
you know?
Scram definitely had to jump down to the ground to
I think there was a horn player on a stair too, one step down as well. How many were in the original? How did it turn into 17? Was it less before?
Well, so originally Greg Zabo had needed to put a band together to fill a spot for a show at Quadra Village Days, I think it was.
Yeah.
So we kind of snatched up some peeps from around town from various bands, and so that was the original crew.
Yeah.
And then after the show was done, we had a discussion. We were like, do we want to stay together? So we did.
So it was a one show, one off, super group.
Yeah. And
everybody's in a different band.
Exactly. Yeah. And then so a couple people left and went to do their own thing, but a bunch of us stayed together. And then since then, it's just been, I don't know, picking people up from around town.
It's kind of a progression as things go on of who's available to provide how much. And as things change, I think when you think of the horn section, it started out with just one trumpet player for the original show.
Yeah.
And they're not there anymore. Now we have a 5-piece horn section. So it transforms.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of an orchestra.
It is, yeah.
We earlier in the day talked about the death of orchestras, but maybe they're just coming back in different forms. And I've noticed, is it a trend everywhere else, this big band thing? I've noticed in Victoria right now, it's definitely...
It's a thing.
I think you guys are trendsetters, maybe.
Well, I think that people just see the appeal of having more and more, because for instance Apex Breaks, it was just supposed to be 3 of them, just Jesse, Andrew, and and a friend.
Apex
and now
Breaks played the last Blender night, and we're here talking about Blender at the Mac, so just to clarify, that was their first show ever.
It was, and it was great.
Yeah, it was awesome.
But it was funny because before they even got to their first show, they all of a sudden had a band of 9 people.
Oh, wait. When they were booked, I thought they were a DJ, because I'm pretty open. If someone's like, hey, this will be cool, book it, I'll just say yeah. And so I was like, oh, it sounds like a DJ. And then Jesse messaged me and it was like, oh, it's a 9-piece. I was like, whoa, okay, another one. They're just popping up everywhere. Do you think that the large band is a direct response to the popular culture of a DJ? It's the opposite. Nowadays, more than ever, people are going to watch one person in front of their computer or their instrument.
Yeah.
I'm not slighting it in any way, but it's almost the opposite when I see the light.
I think it's part of like the live show aspect of it.
Yeah.
Where you just like when you have the DJ and they're at the table and it's like they have the light show and all that going on versus having a live band where there's the energy and the interaction and all that.
You're the show.
We're the show.
Yeah.
So when you have like a 9-piece band and how we're engaging the audience and all that, it's something that you don't really get as much with electronics.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's so prevalent. Also, we have like supergroups like this that are showing up.
Yeah.
Making everyone go wild. It's just like, they don't see that kind of thing all the time.
Yeah.
It brings a crazy energy to it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there's going to be more and more of that? Because music's very solo, not just going to see a DJ. People listen to more music in their headphones. You know, you think of old imagery of music. It was record players blaring. It was ghetto blasters blaring in your neighborhood. You listen to music with your friends, your cars. I don't see as many cars bumping music. I see people with headphones in. Solo experience. So now it does seem like
beach parties and stuff like that with all the mobile speakers going around now.
That's true, actually.
It's true. Actually, you're right.
Tailgate anymore, you're right. Like anywhere.
No, you're totally right. In this last year or two, Bluetooth speakers have kind of brought back a little bit of this thing. I also
kind of like the boom box on the shoulder kind of thing.
On the shoulder
people just walking down the street with their speaker blasting.
100%. My neighbors are getting it right now. I just installed speakers outside, so I was like, no, I'm bringing it back. But I do think that Spotify or Apple Music or whatever you want, streaming music, I shouldn't brand. I think that's as pairing that with the Bluetooth speaker.
Yeah.
Infinite music at my fingertips on a beach party. And nowadays it's easier than ever to get like leg up on Spotify or someone or on that streaming service. You can do local music and that music out and about. So we were just talking about how you're a large band. Is there a leader of the band? Is there like a band leader? I know we had the brass at the last Blender at the Mac, and that was definitely Julia Knight with a bunch of people. She was leading it like a conductor. Do you have who's the band conductor?
It's Greg.
Greg's the band conductor. And what does he play in the band?
He plays guitar. Is it lead though? He's not lead. Jonesy's the lead.
He plays mostly rhythm guitar.
Yeah.
Jonesy's got the lead parts, yeah.
Yeah.
So how does he guitar and conduct?
He's
not
waving his
not
arms.
so much.
He's not waving his arms. Does he have like a look? I know no one can see us right now, but
he's
probably
got a few different looks. It's usually like, oh, that was a fucking wrong note. Like, he's got that look. But no,
like, should people watch him? Like, when they're at this Blender at the Mac show and they're watching the band, should they, like, look for his face to be like, oh, he's upset? Or, oh, he's digging this one, you know?
He's good on stage. He definitely rocks out. Like, he has other projects and stuff where he's, like, in a punk band and stuff. So he's definitely got that vibe where he's, like, jumping around and getting the crowd going, which is great. So I think if you're looking for the looks or the faces, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be like, he's just rocking out and having a party.
Yeah. I suggest watching the horn section if you're going to watch anybody on stage. You guys are so tight and so fun.
But what if Stevie G twerks, though? I mean, I'm always watching for that.
Yeah. Well, that's always... Like that, Stevie G will give you something to look at for a show.
And you and Katie have amazing... the whole band has amazing chemistry. It's kind of a fun part about watching 17 people is... It's like this... there's like the interactions within the band, like you and Katie having this thing, Stevie and Scram, or then it's you and everybody's got these different interactions with so many people going on. It's like telling a story within the songs. So it's quite a mixed genre music. How do you describe it?
I just say we are a soul, hip hop, funk band.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what you do?
Depends who's writing the music, right? Like, we have a lot of people who contribute musically, so you have everything from hip-hop and funk and rap and soul. There was a lot of soul lately, which has been fantastic with the writing from Greg. So it's like...
Does it always start with Greg? Does Greg always bring something and then you guys build on it? Like,
no, I actually should say this is Greg Micklejohn, our trumpet player and singer as well. He does a lot of the writing, which is just fantastic. And we also have...
so good.
Sean Gallant on keys, who's doing a bit more of that as well lately. And all of a sudden we have like stuff that's coming down the pipe with like a Spanish vibe to it, and all of a sudden you're like,
oh, that's
we haven't done this before. It's going to be pretty interesting.
Oh, that's cool. So it's not just one guy writing, it's many people writing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. So do you usually take an idea and then jam it out at a practice, or do these songs come in fully formed and they're like, nope, then you guys do this and you guys do that?
Every which way. Sometimes
every
people will just like show up with a riff and we start playing, like, oh, that should be a song, shouldn't it? But then there's other ones that's like fully written out. Like, the horn lines are all written out. We all get charts or something like that where it's all that done. And it's everywhere in between, right? Like, there's ones that have been written with all the music that's involved, but then, like, the vocals aren't there yet. So we're just, like, you're waiting for a collaboration kind of thing. And it really depends because other people can help you with certain things when you're writing them. And other times it's just like you need to get something start to finish to have something to present. It's also on motivation as well. So.
Yep. Do you have an album on the way? Speaking of songs?
We do, yeah. We're going to be releasing a single on May 18th, I believe.
Oh, wicked. That's coming up soon.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. This will be out before then, so that's wicked. So where can we get this single when it comes out on May 18th?
Oh, man, where are we posting it?
That was a very good question.
Oops.
So keep attached to your Facebook page. Yes. Is that the best place to find out about
like it'll definitely be posted on Facebook.
I just want to make sure we get our shout outs while we're shouting out things. Because that is a good way. I know that the Leg Up program's been making some wicked videos. Is that you or is that Ashley maybe?
Ashley is really great about that.
Yeah, they're really cool. That's a really good idea. I was definitely like, note to self, got to steal that idea. But just the way it's executed, and it really does show like how fun the band is live. So we were talking about what kind of genre it is. Is there a dedication to keeping it mixed? Like, is that the ultimate idea?
I think so. I mean, it's not necessarily, it's not something we've discussed.
It's just naturally,
because with so many people, like, that's just kind of the way that it goes. Yeah. But I think that, I mean, personally, I like that we're mixed. I prefer us to stay kind of open because it appeals to more people that way. And I agree. Like, we all get a little bit of our own flavor in there, and it just shows how diverse we are. And
it does do that in a way that is a cohesive sound, though. Yeah. You know, because that is, in some ways, it can walk a fine line. There's that, you can appeal to everybody, or sometimes you do that and it appeals to no one. But this doesn't. It has its thing. Like, every song ties in with, it's not just a direct opposite song. Mm-hmm. So, you know, you have your own vibe. And maybe that is the people, when you're watching it, tie it all together. But it is this amazing blend of, like you said, all these genres, but at the same time that in just such a classy way. So
thank you.
I just want to say that. I know definitely some people don't, that idea can scare them. That idea is inviting for some, and when I describe it to people, I'm like, no, in an awesome way. It's hip hop, and then it's soul, and then it's this, but it all works. You know, it's like if you go to a restaurant and you throw all the ingredients on a plate, it might not work.
Yeah.
This comes out like a great dish. You know, it's like all the sauces are perfect. It's got the right seasoning. So I just want to stress that to the listeners. If you've never seen them, this is like a well-made plate of food that we're eating here. It's not a basic dish either. It's really complicated. It's got layers. You know, you got to kind of cut into it and look at it.
Medium rare.
Yeah, medium rare, but it's got the perfect, like, potatoes on some with the nice vegetables. Like, it's perfect. What's the last song or album you listened to? You can do either one. You can give me the last song you listened to or the last album, and not the last one you liked. Just the last song you listened to or the last album you listened to.
I'm all up in that Childish Gambino right now.
Yeah.
This is America. Like, blew my brains out.
Yeah. It's took over everything this week.
I love the song. The video is like really important and
very important.
The messaging is pretty. It's aggressive, but it's great. Like, it's some true shit, and like
but done in a way, like I sometimes feel bombarded by. It's easy to go like, Trump sucks or whatever your messages sucks, or and I find it's in a way that I don't feel like I've heard the exact version of what he's telling me before. Yeah. It's not preachy while being preachy.
It's subtle, but not subtle. Yeah. Like, he's shooting people all over the place, but but the message is still subtle arty, somehow.
Yeah, and you watch Atlanta.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So I'm like partway through the first season. I'm obsessed. Right. But I do a lot of hopping between shows. But Donald Glover is just a genius.
He's a genius in.
He's so talented in so many different realms.
And that he's in Star Wars, but at the simultaneously making Atlanta, which is super challenging, and still getting all this appeal. You know, he didn't, like, I'm a big Kanye guy, love it or hate it, and he likes to ruffle feathers. That's why feathers have been ruffled. I'm not saying I agree with everything he says, but I do love the feather ruffling. But he's a different crazy genius. He's like a prince who, like, one day he's going to change his name into a symbol and, like, be the weirdest. Where Donald Glover has this crazy ability to be mainstream but a total rebel at the same time. Yeah. You know, and bring up issues and, like, in ways that people aren't put off by. Yeah, it's amazing. And the same director of the This Is America video, it does a bunch of Atlantas in the second season. And man, the second season's leveled up. I didn't think they could make it better in the first season. The second season's like completely leveled up. He is a god.
Oh damn!
I have no interest in that damn Star Wars movie, and then he shows up in the trailer, and I'm like, oh my god, I gotta go now.
I feel like he's gone through such a crazy transformation too. Yes. Like he wrote for SNL, and then he was on Community, and he like wrote for 30 Rock, and was like in one episode like as like young Tracy Jordan, and
had some harder rap albums back then too.
You know? Like he's all over the place, and he's slaying in everything that everything I've seen him attempt to do anyway.
Yeah, for sure. And he not just rapping. He's got, then his last album was a bit of a funk album, you know, and like completely switched his style, you know. Yeah, he's takes risks and it pays off. Mm-hmm. What's your last album or song that you listen to?
I'm just trying to think. A lot of what I listen to is like Spotify, just like single songs and that kind of stuff.
It's happened to me too. I used to be a staunch album guy, and now
it's just changed. Just like
now I'm listening to singles, and I don't even know who the people are. I'm like, I love this song. They're like, who is it? I'm like, I have no idea. But I listen to it 10 times a day.
There's one that I was pushing the band to cover. It's Saint Motel. Just My Type is a song that I'm just all over right now.
Yeah. Just give me a little description of it.
It is... It's got saxophone in it, I'll tell you that much.
Is it rock, or has it got some type of vibe to it?
It's definitely just like a party kind of sound, where it's just like they have horns, they have just a dance beat to it. Yeah. The vocals aren't over the top, so it's kind of just like more of a spoken vocal.
I'm into it. Saint Motel. What was the name of the track?
Just My Type.
Just My Type. Yeah. I'm definitely going to check it out. That is the amazing other part about Spotify, too, is how we can just be like, oh, I'll dial it up here and I'll dial it up there. I had a friend over last week who didn't have it and was telling me about all these albums he just purchased. And I then was like, hey, these are all on my Spotify, even though they're Vancouver rappers. They're all here. And
I find that anytime I'm after queuing on an album, it's not like I'm what I used to do when I listen to an album. It's just like you sit down and you listen to it front to back. It's usually I put it on and then I like making dinner or doing something else.
Yes.
I'm trying to think the last time I did that was probably like, I don't know if you know the band Bright Lights Social Hour.
Yep.
That was a band that I got into for a little bit, where it's like you can actually listen to the album and there's a lot of ups and downs. So it's just like, you guys are killing it. I think they're only a 4-piece too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is interesting. The album is a little it's not dead, but it's not as seemingly important anymore. Mm-hmm. That's why we're just going to really enjoy the single that's released on May 18th by the Leg Up program. I think that's it. So we're going to see you at the McPherson on May 25th, Friday night. I'll admit I should say at the end of every episode, I work there and book the show, so I'm totally biased about how dope the lineup's going to be. It's $10. Get it at the door. Get it in advance. This is something that the community in music has never had before. So the theater, I'll do a little inside baseball. The theater never put on shows before. We are rented out. So this is the theater now saying, okay, we're going to give local music a crack. And it's a big deal for them to go through with it. So I know everybody there is super happy you guys are coming to play, and
we're super excited.
Yeah, and it's going to be wicked. The stage is going to be amazing. I think we've got the pretty sweet thing lined up for the band. Leg Up program goes on at 10 o'clock at night. They're playing 10 to 10:30. So don't be a flail and show up at 10:15 and go, what do you mean it happened already? But yeah, they'll be selling tickets till 10, and we're going to have the Leg Up, all 17 of them.
Yeah, 17, 30, any
between 17 and 30 people. And if for some reason you can't make the Blender the Mac, they are playing June 9th.
Yes.
At
the Met Church on the corner of Balmoral and Quadra.
Yeah, which is also another, two back-to-back amazing venues.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, I'm excited because both are going to have great acoustic sounds. So
I'm pretty
stoked for that.
The sound was awesome at the last Blender in the Mac. It was killer for when the brass played. It was like, oh, okay, sweet. And yeah, you'll have so much room. And then the cathedral, that's a whole huge vibe. I'll just shout out Vinyl Envy right now because they're the other people like Blender that are supporting the community and giving anybody a chance. So holler at me on Facebook if you want to play Blender. Yeah, I'm down. Your first show, your last show, come play. Come to Lucky Bar, Leg Up program. There we go. We'll see you guys soon. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for having us.
Mm-hmm.
Just a quick shout out to our sponsors at Phillips Brewery, The Zone Radio 91.3, and Mac Onstage. We're going to bring you right back into our interview with the band Malahat. I'm here with the band Malahat. How you guys doing?
Hey. Good. How you doing?
Pretty good, man. It's a beautiful day here in Victoria. I think more importantly, the people want to know. They want you to rank your top 5 favorite cereals. We were just kind of talking about like different wheat cereals, but we need to know like what Malahat's eating in the morning. Starting number 5.
Number 5.
Someone give me one.
Oh, Shreddies for sure.
Shreddies I'd probably place that number 5.
Yeah.
Okay, number 4.
We're doing a consensus, like a
consensus. Yeah, we're hashing this out.
Definitely,
right
have
now.
had my mini wheats phase.
Oh,
mini
wheats.
Kind
of like this. Yeah. Noticed a wheat thing going on still.
So I'd say
we're 3.
We are not gluten free.
I think it's hard to find these days, but French Toast Crunch.
Oh, solid.
Flashbacks.
Solid. It's a strong 3.
Oh,
number 2?
Honey Nut Cheerios?
Number 2's like your...
or just Cheerios. You don't like Cheerios?
No. It's always like...
I never minded multigrain Cheerios. Those are actually pretty solid.
I think number 2, just Cheerios, any variety.
Any variety
like
of Cheerios.
If you're in the green room and there's any kind of Cheerios, you're a happy band.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I like it.
Cheerios are good.
Okay, number 1.
I think number 1 is not Wheat Puffs.
So you're at your backstage, you want a bowl of cereal. It could be any kind. What's that number 1?
No.
How do we feel about Fruit Loops?
Not Wheat Puffs.
Fruit Loops!
I like it.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
We got the important stuff out of the way.
I wish fruit tasted like Fruit Loops.
It's true, actually. I would eat a hell of a lot more fruit. You guys we're doing this, I've said it in the last one, to throw it out there. This is basically sponsored by the show, so I am working for the theater, so everything I say will be awesome about everything. It's a biased podcast. You guys are the only band on this new lineup we've got that played the McPherson at the last Blender at the Mac. How was playing the Mac?
Oh, it was so awesome.
What makes it awesome? And don't even sugarcoat it for me, but like what makes it, one at a time, what makes it awesome? Someone give me it.
The vibe of it was just like wicked. Like I've always got to see like my favorite acts like Buddy Guy and stuff like that, and McPherson and the Royal, and then I was like, oh, I wonder what it's like to be up there. And it was just like the sensation of looking at the person, like watching them. It was the same sensation of like playing up there, but then times 10. And it was like, oh god, I can't calm down. Hopefully, don't play sloppy.
I've seen a lot of shows there, and you guys look the same as watching the Buddy Guy show. It didn't look like a different. It wasn't like a local band up there. Like it looked dope. It sounded dope.
Nice, convincing enough.
Yeah, was just the whole experience awesome. Like just the.
Oh, totally. The stage help was amazing. The sound was just incredible. Like to be able to hear each other, you just play so much more. You just enjoy yourself so much more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When have you always played no shoes, Ben?
I have since like day one because all the pedals I used to not be able to tap them with my feet, and I got finger toes. So like, just like when I used to like dial the TV when I'd lay there lazy when I was a kid, it works the same with my guitar pedals. So I was like, and it's more comfy. So.
When we were shooting our first music video, we had to carry him to and from set because he had no shoes on and it was in the snow.
Yeah.
That's right. You were drumming outside in the snow, weren't you?
Yeah, I had to put ice on the kit just to make the kit quieter than the music we were listening to.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. How many videos do you guys have?
We got 3 now. 3 up online.
Where can people find these videos? YouTube?
Good old YouTube.
Good old YouTube.
Yeah.
What isn't on YouTube? So your first show ever was a normal Blender.
It was.
Yeah,
it was. I think it was, right?
Yeah.
And I remember just the first time you guys were so practiced. So it made me think to myself, like, what's your practice schedule? Like, before you played that first show, how much were you practicing? Like, if you're a new band and you want to be any good, like, you should see Malahat, because their first show, they looked like they had played 20. And I see bands all the time that clearly don't practice. So what's your practice schedule like?
Ours is like, we try to get 2 days a week in for sure, because like, one, like, for writing is always nice. Like, you go over a couple songs and you're just like, okay, let's attack more new stuff, like, because you don't ever want to be bored. And then usually the second one is like, if there's a show coming up, or you'd be like, okay, let's do a set, like, let's go through the songs. It's like, sometimes when you're focusing on new stuff, you forget about the old stuff. And then, like, for me personally, I'm like,
I'll like forget a whole part. I'm like, oh god, like that's not good. So yeah. So about 2 days a week is really good. If you need like a third in there, like a weekend day, and like it's great. But like we're like we just changed up our schedule now, so we have like a 2.5 hour practice, and like a lot of it, like we like to bullshit a lot because we're all great buddies, and like before that we used to have really tight practices, and it was like, okay, we gotta go, like play now, and that's just like not normal and comfortable. So it's nice because now we just like.
You were trying to do an hour practice where you do nothing but play. It doesn't work. Yeah, same thing. Trevor and I, who's producing this podcast, we were in a band together, and it always was better with more time. You want to have a BS beforehand and afterwards and take your time. So, but you practice about 5 hours a week?
Would you say? Yeah.
Not even?
No.
Not quite even that.
But you play your instruments outside of that too, right? So,
we're all constantly.
Every day, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. These boys, like, I play so well with them, and I can't ever take it for granted. Like Ross, like makes me a better bass player, and so it's just like things like that where it just feels so natural.
Malahat's drummer.
Yeah.
Just had to say
it's amazing.
Yeah, no, and that's what a good band does. Everybody's inspiring everybody else to be the best possible them.
Yeah.
You guys also, as well, not only just are practice, but you guys are all gearheads.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Kind of. Who's the biggest gearhead?
Ben is the most stuff, but we all nerd out.
Oh yeah, you got a lot of shit.
I'm constantly just nerding out on gear videos and going through and messing with 5 delay pedals at a time. It's a plague.
What is the band's best piece of gear right now?
I like
depends if it's vintage or new, but we got some vintage stuff that's pretty
what's the number one gear item? Because this is I know you guys talk to other gearheads, so like what's the item you have that people are like, man, shit, they got one of those?
I like Ben's orange 8140 head. It's a pretty hard one to find. It's got a ton of headroom.
But when you push that through his Leslie, the rotating rotary speaker cabinet that you use with organs and whatnot, it's just, I'd say that's the holy, that's probably
That's definitely like my holy grail. Besides, like my parents made me some custom guitar cabinets, and they just sound super wicked. My dad made them, and then my mom painted them all psychedelic. So and those mean a lot to me. And and that Leslie, it just takes me to space.
The nice part about being the singer is the opposite effect, though, Tristan, because you don't have to carry the gear. That's what I always like about being the singer.
No.
Are you carrying the gear and not using it?
Yeah.
What a guy.
The Black Widows, the good old dirty PVs.
I know when you guys load in, I'm always like, oh man, their poor backs. Is being a gearhead like a lost art these days? Do you think? Is it something you encounter less? I know 20, 30 years ago it was all gear. All music was sourced through guitars, pedals, and hardline effects, and now the last 20 years have opened up a different world,
For me personally, I was always looking at my heroes and seeing what they used, and like I was just like, wait, why does this guy have 3 amps? And like, why does this guy run 2? Why does this guy have 2 clean amps and 1 dirty amp, or 2 dirty amps? And then it was just like, I think for me it was because I just gravitated towards the styles of music I liked and see what they had. And
achieving a specific sound via this specific gear.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, how do they sound so full and huge? And it was because of that. It wasn't just because he had one tiny little thing. But that's just for me personally, because those are the type of players I'm always looking at.
Would you say it's sort of like you're looking for a specific sound and you have a specific look? Tristan looks a specific way on stage. It's vintage, it's awesome, it's classic. And so you need the gear to... I think it does make you... I think a lot of the people that are fans of your band do like that. You don't just try to sound this way. You're getting that gear. You're living a specific... way,
it's all
it makes it more authentic
kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. What else you guys got going on this summer? Do you got any shows coming up? I think you're on some big festival.
Hell yeah!
What's that about?
Laketown got us to Laketown Rock Festival up in Lake Cowichan. asked us to come back again this year, which we couldn't be more stoked about.
Yeah, no doubt. That must have been pretty cool last year too at the show.
Oh yeah,
best time of our lives.
Yeah, it was literally probably the best weekend of my life. It was like we just treated it like Woodstock, and it was Woodstock.
Yeah,
it was just, and like all the people around us were so awesome. Everybody just wanted to party the same way, just have a good time, and just like it really reminded me of like watching old like festivals and stuff, and be like, oh. Like it's like the same thing.
Yeah.
So.
Who's playing this year?
Oh, there's like Big Rack and Colin James and was it the CCR's rhythm section? I forget what their name is. Revisited. Yeah. So like you got two guys from CCR, the bass player and the drummer in there. It's just like, oh hell yeah! I am so stoked to see Born on the Bayou. Just like boom, boom, boom,
yeah.
It'll be dirty. So yeah.
When is that?
That's on June. We're playing on June 29th, so it's on the Canada Day long weekend. So
right.
Yeah.
Did you get to meet any of the people there? Because I know you guys had a run-in with a few other idols.
That's true.
What's it like meeting a musical idol?
For me, it can be. It's kind of like scary, like because you're just like, it can only go really two ways. It's like they're either gonna be super awesome and like chill, or they're gonna be a dick, and you're just like, because you don't want that to ever get in front of you, and like that certain experience ruin that music for you for the rest of your life, and you're just like, oh man, like so it's like, but meeting them is always just like, you know, you're just like,
yeah, it's really weird when you meet somebody you've always looked up to or you always like listening to, because it's kind of hard to envision them as an actual human being where they actually are like an actual entire person. Like, so talking to them is always a really interesting kind of perspective of them. Kind of sheds a new light on things.
Yeah, well, you guys had people on your Insta, you know, the guy from Mastodon or something? And
we had Rob Halford comment on one of our things a while back. That was cool.
Hit something with Monster Truck or something like that.
We shared our music as well.
We forced our way into Big Rex tent at Rock the Shores.
I was way too drunk.
And was it Dave, was it? Or,
yeah, it was Dave and Brian.
Anybody in rock and roll has probably been too drunk to talk to someone they're not supposed to talk to.
I was like, I gotta go Tone Quest with those dudes. Like,
That's awesome. Well, yeah, I want to know one by one. We're gonna end it with, what's the last song or album you listened to?
Oh, today?
And literally the last thing. It could be bad, it could be good. It can be the song or the whole album.
Okay. The last song I just listened to was The Devil's Orchid from Opeth.
There you go. Sounds like metal.
Yeah, it was pretty metal.
If your band's name is Opeth,
exactly.
It's like a bright neon sign that says metal. Metal. Yeah. What was the last album or song you listened to?
Listen to a lot of Frank Zappa. There's this album Closer on Overnight Sensation. It's a song about moving to Montana and growing dental floss.
Frank Zappa, I'm just going to point out, another artist who has played the McPherson stage.
What?
There you go.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That gave me goosebumps.
Yeah, there you go. Crazy. So that has happened. So you can enjoy that. That's nuts. You've been on the same stage. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Well, I mean, technically, we were all listening to The Devil's Orchid on the way over.
Right. So give me the previous song.
If I were to say the last thing I deliberately listened to, I think it would have been Gentle Giant. Really cool prog band from the 70s. They were all just absolutely insane. There's a live video of these guys. They'll just switch instruments like 8 times throughout a set, and they're all classically trained and extremely just...
I love it.
Groovy, but like...
Gentle Giant.
Yeah.
Spotify?
Apple? I don't know if they're on Spotify.
Yeah, they are.
They are?
Yeah.
Oh, and they are?
we just talked to the Leg Up program just about how Spotify's or streaming music is so amazing, and we pointed out how the experience of the Bluetooth speaker now with the streaming music has made it so people are bumping tunes everywhere they go again, and it's really getting people into music again. You know, this is something that Trevor and I talk about a lot too, how it's just nowadays you can pull up your Malahat, you can pull up your Childish Gambino, you can right there all in one spot and
it's pretty wicked. Yeah, you don't need the boombox dude walking around.
That's exactly what we're talking about. We're bringing him back though with the Bluetooth. What was the last song you listened to, Tristan?
I was working on my van this morning. I was listening to Peace, Love, and Death Metal, the whole
Yeah.
Eagles of Death Metal album.
Yep.
It's actually really good. It's the first time I've ever listened to it. I was just like really digging it. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we're looking for. People nowadays listen to all musics from all years and all genres, so I love getting good recommendations from different people. Let me give you one last question, Tristan, just because we didn't get to doing. Who is your singing idol?
I don't know.
Like how when you're writing lyrics, do you think in a character or do you there's been a lot of people definitely through the years, but I mean now it's come to the point where I'm just trying to do my own thing and I don't know, figure stuff out. Yeah. I mean I obviously look upon people like Ian Gillan and like Rob Halford, like guys like those were insane. But then also like I look at growls and stuff and I direct it more towards John Entwistle, like Boris the Spider, like that growl part in there, stuff like that just meant more to me. This is the most specific thing I've ever heard. Yeah. I love this. Yeah, this is great. Most people are like, I don't know, like this guy, you've got like a moment from an artist.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
That's just it. I just kind of just feed off things and then just try to do it my own
You way. Really grab energy when you're on stage too, hey? Like when that music starts and...
Well, it's all just feeling, right? Yeah. Like you never go up there. Like music for me is definitely not something I push on myself. It's all got to be in the moment and you gotta feel it. And if you don't feel it, then...
I would say that actually is a good way to not only end, but a good way to describe the whole band of Malahat is when you watch it, you're feeling it. I know that from that first time I saw you play, I was standing there with 5 guys at Lucky Bar and everyone was like, drummer's feeling it, like he is just insane, but that's exactly it. Every member's feeling it, and I can't describe how awesome it is to see you guys live. I'm super stoked that you're the only band doing 2 back-to-back Blender at the Max. It's
thank you for having us back,
dude. No worries at all. You guys make it pretty easy, and people like to watch you play, and you're awesome, and you look so good up on that damn stage. The theater thought we should do it again. So we'll see everyone May 25th at the McPherson, and Malahat is playing from 9:15 to 9:45. So if you're coming to see Malahat, be there before 9. Don't be the guy who shows up at 9:30, missing the whole thing. So we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Thanks,
all right.
Jerry.
Thanks, guys. Blender Podcast. Quick break to remind you to check out our sponsors, Phillips Brewery, The Zone, and the Mac Onstage. And we are coming back at you with Lorah The Band. Hey, we're here, Blender Podcast. Yeah. We're here with Lorah The Band. I've known you forever, Lo, but I haven't seen this new project. How did you meet?
We met because we were doing the Women for Women project, Danny's here creative, and then we had a show that we were doing at Darcy's, and Nora and I had an idea to kind of do a 1-song collaboration, I think, and then it ended up being like this weird awkward, like basically asking me out on a date, but not so much. It was the best way.
Do you want to do a side project?
As she awkwardly sips her beer, and I was like, yes.
That's what it's always like talking to another musician. Playing music's an intimate thing. It's not unlike going on a date. If you've played music with someone, it's like 1/4 of a date.
Yeah.
Like kinda. What's your history? What?
Yeah, I've been playing music for a while. I was in Ottawa a couple years ago, and I played in a duo.
Were you playing under your name, or did you have like a stage moniker?
I had it was me and a cajon player doing like acoustic stuff, and we were called Made Noon, phonetically not a great idea. But we played for about 2 years in Ottawa, and I came back actually to Victoria to visit some friends and slept on my friend Claire's couch, who was living with 2 of my bandmates as well. Well, current bandmates in Victoria. So I was like, hey, these people play music in the Victoria scene, and the scene here is awesome. So I decided to actually move back to the island.
Oh, wicked.
Yeah, and I'm started a band with 2 of those guys. Well, 3 of them, actually. We're all in a band that are now in Rambler Speak, and so I play in that band as well.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you have Low Weight and the Rattlesnakes.
Yeah, Low Weight and the Rattlesnakes, and then solo, and now Lorah The Band, so...
That's actually one
I'm getting greedy.
That's actually one thing I was thinking about beforehand, was that you're both so versatile. You do songs by yourself, you are in a duo, you're in a band. do you get different things out of each set, or is it all the same, or do you find...
Yeah, actually we were talking about it because we were kind of jamming a bit before we came here, and was saying, oh, this song I'm writing for my own set, and this song, like, Nora will come and she'll be like, I wrote this song for us, or like we kind of, yeah, each one is a little bit different. Like I find with the Snakes, my heavier kind of like more upbeat songs, I generally kind of push in that direction. Yep. And then definitely ones where I'm like, oh, harmony would just be beautiful throughout this entire thing. This is super folky. Let's, throw it at Nora and be like, let's do this. And then, yeah, I'm like, I kind of do the melancholy, softer ones for my own personal set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you write, and then which would this work for?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I don't know if you're the same.
It's the same, yeah.
Yeah.
Like the Rambler Speak is a bit more rocky. But I have a lot of like slower folky stuff that I just have been like won't quite work with these guys, so it's nice to have another spot to funnel those songs into.
Yeah. Is there a distinct writing difference between the two? Like do you ever like write in character? Or do you ever consider a different project like a different character,
I don't think so. I think most of the stuff I write is pretty like influential of what's going on in my life.
Very
like
personal.
I have very personal, yeah, which is so that's why generally a lot of the melancholy like tunes that I wouldn't normally want to always perform for people because they're more of an outlet for me.
Yeah.
But then I think like I don't know, we're still kind of learning each other's writing.
It's only been like 2 months.
Yeah. We haven't been together very long, so
it's just a new relationship.
It's a new relationship.
We had a couple of first dates.
It's been pretty funny though. Like we've had so many people come up and be like, "We love your voices together," and I think we just both have very like. It's hard to find people that will blend with my voice, and then as soon as you did, I was like, "Oh, this is wonderful."
and a personality too, like you said. We said making music with someone's this personal thing. If you like can't stand the other person, it's not gonna generally work on the musical level either,
Makes it a bit harder, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Do you ever have to like think about when you're playing, like not checking your ego, but like, oh, I gotta let Nora shine on this one, or I gotta do you ever like think of those dynamics, or has it been too new to quite have those dynamics? Or
well, I think with the songs that we have, like some of them were like both in the forefront, and other ones it's kind of back and forth, which is really interesting. And I think it just kind of naturally happens with the songs that we've been playing.
Yeah, there's been a few times where we've told ourselves, we're like, hey, we're not the front singer in this group.
And I say ego in a good way, because I think that, it's often a word that's said is badly, but, a lot of times you do need to have some of that to be a good performer, to actually do the damn thing, so... But yeah, sometimes it can be too much. So, but you found a good
I think
balance.
We're just both so used to being the front singer that I've never really been much of a harmony on other people's songs. So even for me, I'm like, oh, I need to back off because this is like a duo song. It's
It's hard to do that. Yeah. I know, like doing some backup rap stuff, you're actually thinking like, okay, he's doing the thing. I'm just making it so he looks better.
Yeah.
It's always like being a good side piece, it's like people always say it's like, couldn't be Michael Jordan without Scottie Pippen or whatever it is, but they're both awesome, but you need to have that stuff going together. So it's actually fun having you specifically at Blender at the Mat, because you're a person that's played like 100 million Blenders.
I'm so excited for this.
Yeah, you're the idea of Blenders. It's just open for everyone. It's great to like give opportunities. So I was so stoked when you were at the last one and was like, well, we got to get you on one of these things. So like, have you been to the McPherson before? Have you like...
but it was always like for like random shows. It was never like I went there for Jazz Fest a few times. But no, I'd never like just playing in any theater would be amazing if we're being honest. But the fact that it's like I'm playing the McPherson and people are like, oh, really?
Yeah, it's like 105 years old, like it's like a legendary building. It's like even the history of the building's so fun. But yeah, that's what the Malahat was saying too. They were like, man, we looked at some of the artists that played there, and they were talking about how they were inspired by Frank Zappa, and I was like, I think he's played the McPherson, and then they were all excited. So yeah, it's just sweet seeing, me and you have played on the side of a river before, and like I've seen you play at Lucky Bar, I've seen you play every venue in town, so it's nice to just see this like evolution of
Well, even for the Blender to see you guys, like to see that grow, because I mean, it was always, what is a Wednesday or like
it's a Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday
last
night
Wednesday
normally, right? Yeah. So to have a Friday night spot in a theater, like I don't know, I feel like it deserves it. You know, it's like
for sure.
This thing's been going for a long time. It's been a stepping stone and like an awesome way for so many artists to get out there and play.
To toot its horn, Blender turns 9 this month.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So it's Blender. If anybody who's listening doesn't know what that is, it's a night that I put on with the help of the community helps put it on. Truly, at Lucky Bar, it's the last Wednesday every month, and I think last time I tallied it up, it had 900 different performances.
That's amazing.
And it was, I think, 300 and plus different bands or performers in town have played it. So if you lived in Victoria and you're in a band, you probably played Blender. So like Lo said, it's exactly.
That was our first show actually. Was Blender at Lucky.
So and Malahat, was just in here there, you know, doing well for themselves as well. Their first show ever was at Blender, and Sex Weather, who's playing this show, their first show ever was at Blender, and
I think it was one of our first shows as well. Yeah,
it's hard to get. It's weird in Victoria. People who aren't in bands don't realize how hard it is to get gigs at places that aren't crappy.
Yeah,
you know, I'm not even slighting any venue in town. You know, I'll play anywhere, but it's quite hard.
It is,
you know, and I never realized that until a couple years into Blender, and then I was like, oh, I have to keep doing this now for other bands because they can't play. They can't get in these awesome venues, you know? So it's this channel for us to all, me included, all play. I'm even the one who's like, I want to play the Blender at the Mac too. Like, oh man, I'm jealous of all the bands. What is the last song or album you listened to?
Ooh, Shakey Graves' new album.
Oh, how is it? Tell us a little bit about it. Tell us why I should go on my Spotify and get it.
Okay, so it's got like your usual Shakey Graves tunes, like the intricate kind of cool guitar parts, and like there's actually some songs that sound pretty similar to his other, but almost like revamped. And then like the first 2 tracks, I'm absolutely in love with. Like Counting Sheep is just like kind of this like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just floaty and just kind of eerie.
Yeah.
And
you've got the vibe. I can see.
Yeah, I have the 2 songs on repeat actually with the beginning, and then I'll eventually like listen to the rest of the album. But
is that how you take an album down? You listen to 2. Like, you grab like the 1 or 2 songs right away. You kill them. Yeah. And then you're like, oh, but I want more of the band, so now I got to go explore the other stuff.
Yeah. And then I kind of work my way down.
That's old school. Yeah. Because that's how it used to be. We used to get an album. You paid a lot for it. You listened to the song you liked, and then you were like, well, I paid $20 for this album. And then you kind of get Stockholm Syndrome with half the songs. Like, I didn't like that song like a month ago, but now I like
it. I'm stuck with it now.
Because I've listened to it in my car for like a million times. So that's what's so different now is people aren't getting that, like, we were talking about the no albums anymore. It's singles because they listen to the single, but then they don't explore the little gems as much. So it's great to hear someone talk about an album and not just the single.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think it's one of those things, right? Like you think about how much effort that an artist has put into making a whole album, and it's like, okay, the single's great, and maybe that's why a lot of people bought the album in the first place. Yeah. But like.
Yeah, you can, from the craftsmanship, you can appreciate how hard it is to do the album.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's weird. I wonder why it's not as popular anymore.
It's because it's so easy not to, right? With Spotify, you're like, oh, I'll just get the one song off the album. I'll just like, or Apple Music, any of that stuff. You're like, I'll just take
If a show is hard to get into in one episode, it's like, oh, I didn't like Twin Peaks. That first episode was difficult. And it's like, well, it's a show you're supposed to watch about 8 before you even know a little bit about it.
Yeah,
totally. So it's, some albums don't sound good the first time, you know, and then they need that 10 listens to, but now we can get music so instantly. Yeah. What's the last album or song you listened to?
I've been listening to like a punk rock band from LA called Dead Sarah.
Oh.
I just have this one CD that I had, the only music I had on my phone, and I walked 3 weeks on the Camino in Spain, and that's the only music I had on there.
I love it.
So any bad day, I was like, turn on a little bit of screaming, really good music, good guitar parts. It was awesome.
Dead Sarah?
Dead Sarah.
Can I find it on streaming things as well? Or is this or is it a small band?
I think they're pretty big now.
Yeah.
I've just been listening to them. I found them on Spotify, just like a random playlist, and then downloaded that one album apparently and didn't download anything else.
Oh, I hate when Spotify does that.
No.
I left the Wi-Fi zone.
Yeah.
I know.
You download like the half of it and you're like, well, that was pointless.
Yeah. I just succumb to the data gods. Right? Just give me more data because I can't not blow it. Yeah. So basically my own foolishness costs me money every month.
Yeah, me too.
Sweet.
Well, that's it. I think we just want to have a short chat. I think it's great. We're going to see you Friday, May 25th at the Blender. You're going to be on from 8:15 to 8:45. Nice. So if you're coming to the show, don't be, I've said this about everyone, don't be the guy at 8:30 be like, well, I didn't know. It's a theater. Things happen on time. So it will be like precise. But it's going to be amazing. The sound's incredible. The last Blender at the Mac, all the bands were wicked. Yeah. And I just can't wait to see you up there with like the proest of pro things happening in the sound and to see this new group of power women in the room together.
Thanks for having us.
And plug a couple shows. Sorry, I didn't give you a chance to. You were doing some other shows this summer.
Yeah, we got some
You have some big shows. Yeah, tell us about those. Sorry. We're not done here. We're not done here.
You go ahead.
The one that we have announced is the Women for Women on June 8th. So Lo and I will both be there for that with our respective bands and maybe some together as well. And
forgive my ignorance, all women performers on a lineup.
Absolutely.
Where is this?
It's going to be at Capitol Ballroom, and it's a fundraiser for the Period Posse.
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh, that sounds great.
Go to the Period Posse.
Just right now, like with Blender, there's so many nights where I'm like, every artist tonight was a woman. Didn't even plan. It's crazy. Victoria just seems to be an awesome hub of of awesome women killing it right now. Aren't you playing like Rock the Shores?
Yeah. Yeah. So we've got the Women for Women project.
Women for Women, June 8th, Capitol.
June 8th. And then, Rattlesnakes are playing Rock the Shores this year, which is...
Yeah. That's a blast.
It's
what
amazing.
Night are you playing?
We're playing on the Saturday.
Okay, wicked. Who headlines that night?
I believe it's Sheepdogs and Social Distortion.
Yeah, right. Social Distortion, yeah.
That's an honor just to
Yeah.
even be considered to play. It's nerve-wracking. Yeah. But and then Nora's got some festivals coming up this year too.
Yeah, August 10th to 12th, we're playing the 5 Acre Shaker down in Port Alberni.
That's awesome. I've heard that's a good time.
I've heard it is too. I'm excited to go.
Okay, so there you go. Now we know where we can find you all summer, and hopefully we see them in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Wicked.
Thanks, guys.
See you guys soon.
Thank you.
Bye. We're back with a quick shout out to our sponsors, Phillips Brewery. Also, their Phillips Pop, the Coke, or the Cola that Phillips does, my fave. The Zone 91.3 FM, and Mac Onstage. And here we are now. We're back to you with our last band, Sex Weather. We're back on the pod with Sex Weather. Say what up.
Yeah. It's the weather.
Yeah.
It's the weather.
It's the weather. It actually is the weather right now. It looks like, totally. It looks like it's going to be like that till we're at the show. You're one of, I think, you're the second band on here whose first show was at a Blender. At Lucky, a normal Blender. Like, tell me about that show a little bit.
For me personally, kind of a little bit, like,
what's it like doing a first show?
Well, just, like, the whole green room experience was kind of weird, because it was, like, you know, we were playing with Sweetleaf. Yeah. I remember, like, meeting Jay Romolo in the back the first time, and, like...
And they're all, like, long-time musicians.
Yeah, and he, like, just, like, sat down, like, just, like, blew so comfortable and stuff, and I'm like... Man, I'm pretty sure I had a ride cymbal, like, hung from a shoelace that night.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah,
classic sketch. Yeah, man, like we use so much, not even duct tape, like packing tape, like through the ages. Like it's come a long way.
It is a funny. It's like people don't understand a lot about being in a band, but one part of it is gear. When you go from like stuff you do at home and then you go to a show and you're like, whoa, okay,
oh man,
yeah, you know, like just it's such a different ball game.
I'm pretty sure there's a couple drummers out there that can vouch. Like, you know, like I'm like happy to share my stuff, but like what I'm used to is not what most people are used to.
Right.
Nate had the best thing. He used to carry all his gear in a sweater. And so he'd have all his cymbals and breakables in this sweater. And people would always be like, oh, let me help you with your stuff. And then they'd pass the sweater and you'd just hold it. And then everything would just fall immediately on the ground. And just like... cartoon. And then I'd be like, oh man, we need to get you a bag. Like, this just went on for so long.
Only Nathan knew the way.
Yeah, he was
I had this finesse. Like, I still will get. I have the sweater, and I will have a symbol bag custom made that's lined with the sweater.
It should be, man.
Yeah, I promise it'll happen.
How is it? Since we're just talking about drumming, and a lot of people always bring up that you drum and sing or rap at the same time. When was the first time you were like, I'm gonna do that? Like, how did that happen?
It was like honestly before I did either thing. It was just kind of like, you know, I'm gonna do that because like that's. You know, if I'm doing music in the first place, that's like, why not? Right? Yeah. Like, I just like put my head in this kind of like imaginary place and I was like, fuck, I'll do it eventually.
I remember you telling me that you just bought this drum kit for like $50 at a garage.
It was $90.
Tell me he's gonna be the first guy to drum and rap at the same time, and I was like, man, learn how to drum first. You can really
do. Yeah, that's what they all told me. I was like, oh, it hurts.
I was your roommate.
I sucked for a while, whatever.
And I told you to learn how to drum first. That's brutal. I remember the day you showed up with a drum kit, and you're like, hey, bud, I'm learning how to drum.
Sweet.
How long has Sex Weather been a band? How long ago was this first show we were talking about at Blender? We actually I should preface it by saying we have a Blendiversary for Sex Weather. They play they play every November Blender. Yeah. But is that 5 or 6? 6 years?
I think 5, 6, yeah.
Well, I think, was it?
I think this upcoming November would be
your 6th
year.
Yeah.
It was 2012.
2012, so this will be the 6th.
So this would be the 6th one. Yeah, that's crazy. So you've been a band 6 years. You've had a lot of changes. Yeah. How was it like to transition? You used to have a different singer to transitioning to now. How has that been?
Well, a long time ago, me, Nathan, and Graham were our high school band was called Captain Shark and the Strengthies.
Yep.
And it was just the three of us just like basically playing college rock, like crappy punk. And as soon as the three of us were like, oh, it's just the three of us again, we're like, okay, let's play like an elevated version of that. Let's kind of go. It was like coming back to our roots in a weird way. It was like we all kind of like, okay, this feels a little bit more natural in a weird way. You know what I mean?
It does. It actually was an interesting part the first time I saw you as you are now. I was like, oh, that fits way better than I thought. Not that I thought it was going to be bad, but it did. It was very natural.
Yeah, the sound was cohesive. I think we all felt comfortable in it.
And the other sound was great too. But yeah, it's a really cool new sound, and not a lot of bands make that transition or survive that transition. You know, and you didn't. How come you kept the name?
That was a big long thing. We thought of like changing the name in different names, and every name just wasn't as good. I mean,
it's a good name.
There was a famous. There was a famous.
The four members are still in there.
I would have kept the name myself.
What a lot of people don't know is Sex Weather started out with 5 members.
Really?
Yeah.
We had a different bass player. Dino here was rhythm guitar.
Which the people that are listening, they can't see, but they've sat in order of importance, and they've listed the least important. So why is the bass player the least important to the band?
Because he's garbage. Look at him.
He's trash.
They can't see him.
Physical appearance.
Listeners, I look like a homeless guy, but but I have a nice shirt on, so it's okay.
Yeah, that's true.
If you call a tie-dye beater a nice shirt,
it is.
Who's the best party band in town?
Space Boots were like massive.
Space Boots were good. Because you guys
to me like huge party rock. Yeah.
You kind of fall into that category a bit.
We fight that a little bit, but I think it definitely.
I don't think in a bad way. I think you guys are fun guys at a party, so you usually attract some people who are fun.
I think we like.
I like to think that the show was a fun time. Like I hope that translates.
Yeah. But it's a show, like, I want to have 2 drinks while I watch it. It's going to enhance the show.
I'm down with it.
That doesn't bother me.
As the promoter in me will mention drink specials at the Blender at Mac, and you can drink in the theater now, which is a newer thing since a year. So Phillips is going to be hooking up a really good beer thing going on. So there will definitely be beers to enjoy the Sex Weather performance.
Wow, good.
Right.
What's it like to play the McPherson? It's a 105-year-old theater in town, and we thought, let's get these dudes.
There's going to be some room. I feel like that stage is
going to be huge. At first we were thinking pyrotechnics, ropes, trapdoors.
Yes.
Are you gonna be nervous?
Excited, I think.
Nerves is excitement, I guess. Like I get really anxious before shows. Like, is this one going to be like, whoa?
Nah, I'm ready. No, I played tomorrow.
I'm ready to go. Yeah. Like I'm stoked. I'm really stoked.
And I think we've like now been thinking about, we're like, okay, let's put our set list together and make a real show out of this one too. And we're like, let's, instead of just playing our songs, let's pick some of our favorites to play and our best songs and really put those forward for people.
Yes, you're putting like extra thought into the set list.
Exactly.
How it's gonna flow.
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to do that sometimes as the band, to be like, how is, you never know when you play that song in the middle and you're like, ooh, that didn't go so well. Like next time we got to put that one earlier and put this one at the end, or you play the first song and it kills and then you never get that back the whole set and you're like, shoot, I wish we played this one, there. Or...
We got that recipe figured out. We got a good closer.
I think we've got
we're like, give them the finishing move. And they'll remember.
We've got a Kamehameha lined up. I mean, I don't know how many of you are Dragon Ball Z fans, but...
Myself.
It's probably a lot. I think a few people watch the show. Had like 40 years of seasons. It's popular.
Alright, cool.
I, on the other hand, was like, don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
How many videos you guys got?
Not many. One coming out, like, hopefully, like, a week ago.
Yeah, I did hear there was one coming out soon. That's what
it's coming. It's coming. I've actually seen it.
You know what? Honestly, it's like, okay, yeah. Like, what do we have to do? Like, can we call Dano?
We don't need to call anybody. We just need
to press the button?
Internet.
Like,
I think you should press the button.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing.
It's gonna happen.
I think we want to drop it before the show, so it's gonna be this week.
I think we need like a press the button campaign.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay, all right, let's do that.
Big red button. Let's do it.
You guys have a great other video too, where you're getting chased around. It's got the cat.
The cat, yeah. There's so many things that we're going to be in the bag instead of cats.
But it's kind of fun that it's a cat. Although, you can't help but go like, was the cat there the whole time?
Like wow.
100%.
That was a little savage. She got beat up.
Yeah, right?
And drowned.
But it was a good way to do the video. It like... Local videos often want to do sightseeing tours to be like, look, here's the band here and here's the band here at this place. But that was a fun way to like roll through, and it like made you feel like you were in the city without you guys standing by the Welcome to Victoria sign.
Yeah, really. That's what I thought was
that's what I thought was super fun about it. It was like a more Beastie Boys way of doing the video than just a straight local video.
Sabotage was definitely an influence.
It was definitely.
We watched Sabotage and the chase scene from Point Break 20 times, and we're like, okay, what works here? What didn't here?
We're pausing it, like, okay, we got to do a shot where they're running through a house, knocking over a laundry basket.
Awesome, love it. Last thing I've been asking all the bands, and we'll do this one by one. What's the last song or album you listened to? You can tell me about one or the other.
This is Nine Inch Nails album, I guess is the last that I listened to. But
which one was? Tell everybody what that was.
Ghost. It was Nine Inch Nails Ghost 1 to 30, where it's all instrumentals, and some of them are just way out there, so far, and it's extreme. But then others are more humble. But it was one thing that we as a band do this thing where every week each member recommends an album, and the other members listen to it. So it was one I knew that Nathan had never heard for sure, and I was like, okay, as a kid growing up. I had a phase, I loved it.
Yeah.
And I was like, you should hear this, because that's kind of where place I was coming from. So this week it's going to be something new. Who is this week?
This week? Tell us what this week's is.
Thanks, Nate Dogg.
Nathan, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So what's this week's album?
I couldn't even say right now. You have to give me
What was the previous one? Give us the last two. So you do this every week. So we heard the Nine Inch Nails Ghost. So
and
was
then
the
it
week
was
earlier.
London Calling by The Clash.
The Clash, London Calling.
And who hadn't heard that album?
I hadn't listened to it cover to cover.
Yeah, in years. I don't think I'd listened to it like ever cover to cover either.
How was it now?
Good.
It was unreal.
It clashes an album like when I was a kid and my brother used to listen to it. I didn't get it at all, and then all of a sudden in the 2000s when that like indie rock stuff got big again, I go back to the Clash and was like, whoa, this created like 10 different genres.
Time travelers, right?
They have that time traveling element, where that music just stays so true later on, and you're like, whoa, 20 years later, you created so much influence,
Oh, yeah, the bassist is insane in that band. Is just like, as soon as I listen to that, I'm like,
the intro bass line, it's like, I know this instantly. Like,
yeah.
I couldn't have placed it beforehand, and like...
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And like weirdly poppy, even though it's like post-punk too, like...
Yeah, it's like still,
Rock
it's still
the Casbah,
hard. It's got
can
that
play
like,
at any dance
grit
party.
to it, that edge, but like it'll...
Yeah, no, it's true. A lot of sides. And then what was the album the week before?
It was the new J. Cole one.
Yeah, right. Well, okay, let's talk about that. What did you think?
I had mixed reviews.
The KOD title track itself. Oh, no, say it. Go on.
Okay, yeah. Go. You go first.
Give me the negative side.
The negatives, I think they was putting on some hats that didn't really fit, you know what I mean? Trying things that other people are doing that I was like, that didn't really feel good. But then there was some really honest tracks that I loved, and I was like, that track in the middle about him and his mom, loved that track. Yeah. And at the end, 1985, that's like, I was all about that because it had a message, you know what I mean?
It's a little preachy.
Yeah, a little preachy, but I think he does cohesive stuff better than kind of I'm Rich, you know what I mean? So...
Yeah, I love the title track, the KOD. Mm-hmm. That song, it's that gets me going. But yeah, on first listen I called it J. Cole Macklemore hybrid.
Wow.
It was a little Mackle-Cole. I called it.
I feel that vibe.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I would say that the average rap kid thinks that album is uncool.
You think so? That's
yes,
cool.
I do. I get that vibe that J. Cole is kind of uncool now.
Old dude rap. He's like,
yes.
old dude. He's like an old dude
rap.
Yeah,
there was like that one that was like a trap banger, and then the rest were kind of like just slightly off kilter, like boom bap songs that like didn't quite hit.
And a little bit of him talking about like, oh, these new rap guys, and I was like, oh no, like just do your thing, you know. Yeah. But on the other hand, he is a great lyricist, and the album's good. But yeah, I don't know.
You gotta try new stuff, though. You know what I mean? If you're digging the same stuff all the time, it's gonna get boring. You gotta at least take a leap and have a fail.
Yeah. I don't think J. Cole's going anywhere.
No, I don't think he is either. He has a crazy big fan base, but I think that he hits that I still love '90s rap crowd more than he hits I love that new little Yachty Drake track crowd.
I'd say that's a pretty fair statement.
And so, I'm these days leaning more towards the new Migos track than the '90s rap stuff. So there's part of me that heard the album and was like, yeah, not as.
He's walking, he's talking. He's walking, and he's talking.
I walk it like I talk it anywhere I go, dude. I wish I could permanently enter a room like that.
21 feature on that one.
21's my man.
The Drake Jerry curl in the video is 30 out of 10. It's pretty amazing.
I dance just like that.
Mathematically impossible. Exactly. Times over.
Yeah, exactly. But that's it. We're going to see you guys Friday, May 25th. You're going to be 7:30 to 8, so you better be there early. Come at 6:30 when the doors open. We got Phillips on special. Yeah, tickets are on sale. Go to the box office or get them that night.
Do it.
We need to fill this place up so we can keep the local bands playing these awesome venues. So yeah, wicked. We'll see you guys in a week.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I'll give you. You got any other shows to plug? I should give you that. You got any other summer's plans?
Do we have any? We got an album coming out.
Lots of going to the beach.
We got an album.
Wow, okay, so should we look at your Facebook? Should we
everything?
Your Insta,
Facebook. Sex with the Music, and Instagram. Is that us?
Yeah.
Sexwiththemusic.com.
Yeah.
Sex with a YouTube channel.
But we got a couple of tracks coming up pretty quick that we're going to start.
Press the button.
Yeah, we're pressing the button on the video.
Press the button on the new video.
Hit them up on Facebook or Insta. Say press the button, and then they will do so.
Yes.
Yeah,
wicked.
Just let us know.
We'll see everybody in a week.
Take care.
Thanks, guys.
Right.
Peace.
We're back. One final shout out to our sponsors, Phillips Soda, the Zone FM, and the Mac Onstage. And don't forget, May 25th, 7:30, Blender at the Mac. The doors open at 6:30. It's $10. We're going to have Philip drink specials all night. So come down. It's a great fun. It's a community event. We're getting local bands on one of the oldest, most distinguished stages in town. So we'll see you there.